Oh, there we go. Starting to have people pop in. It's weird. I had people popping in the comments here before we're showing up as anyone here. I guess there's 15 people here now, but there we go. Here we go. There's everybody. Hi, everyone. How we doing? Why aren't I at work? That's really the $128,000 question, isn't it? It turns out, you'll actually hear about this in tonight's video, but it turns out that the day I got back from California, actually the next day, I got a call from my boss. He wanted to know if I had left Waco in the last few days, and I told him, yeah, I've been in California. And he said, okay, we may end up putting you on quarantine for a little while because we're just being very, very cautious. We don't want to have any issues where we have sick people coming into work and infecting other people. So we've decided to kind of be preemptive about that. And when they found out that I had been in California, they said, okay, where have you been in California? And I told them, where I'd been, but I also mentioned that I flew in and out of LAX. And I think that was the thing that kind of pushed it over the edge here was that, there have been actual cases of the virus in at LAX. Some of the TSA screeners have been diagnosed with it. So they decided they just wanted me to stay at home for the next 2 weeks, just to make sure that I'm okay. The beauty of it is that it's all under. I'm getting paid full. I get full pay for doing this. So it could be a lot worse. I mean, for me, it kind of sucks right now because I just spent the last 10 months being unemployed, and I was really looking forward to getting to the point where I could actually do some work. Um, and you know, here I am at home again. Yeah. Now, last thing I want to do is lie to my new boss. If they found out about it, then that would be far worse. In fact, that was one of the things my manager said when he called me is that he was very grateful that I was very honest about it. So I don't know. In terms of what a lot of other people are dealing with, at least the fact that I'm off of work with pay, you know, it's fine. There's a lot of people that are in far worse shape than I am, and just because of the fact that now that I have the next 2 weeks off, like I said, I'm going to try and do a bunch of live streams because I know there's a lot of you out there who are kind of confined in place. I'm just hearing today that California has basically locked down the whole state. They're asking everyone now to just stay indoors except in emergencies. And I could just that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get out of California because I saw that was coming. Uh, so I didn't want to get stuck there. I figured I was supposed to go back to work yesterday, and you know, it it just didn't end up happening. But it could very easily have been something that I could have gotten stuck in California and then not been able to go back to work. I mean, I'm sure that would have been a good excuse too. Hey, I'm California, because I was honestly, when I was in California, I was honestly expecting that they were going to shut down the airlines. I know that I flew Delta Airlines out of Dallas when I went to California, and Delta Airlines the day afterwards, I heard Delta Airlines had ceased all travel to Europe. So I was figuring, okay, I hope this isn't the next step that they lock down California. So I actually came back a day early. Um, Thank you, Todd Jones. I saw that pop up a minute ago, but I was in the middle of something. But I do appreciate it very much. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm sure that's probably the case that nobody in California is complying with the order. I was talking to Jordan last night, and basically he was saying that yeah, things are just going downhill real fast there. So You're glad I don't have music intro or during the vlog, huh? I've been actually thinking about doing that. It's just to trying to find the right music. Was the airport empty? Actually, yes, it was. I shot a picture, posted it on the Facebook page of what the airport looked like the morning I flew out of LAX, and yeah, I'd never seen it that empty before. And even the plane that we flew, it was only about half full. I had a whole row to myself. I was supposedly in the center seat of the three, and they told us at the beginning, take your assigned seat until we get the doors closed, and once the doors closed, you're free to move around. And they were shifting people all over the plane at that point. Even the flight attendants were saying, hey, you want to come up here? There's a whole row you can have. So yeah, the plane was half, maybe third full. Maybe Guided by Voices music for the intro. That would be great, and I'm sure that Bob would probably be cool with it. The problem is it would be getting the legal right to use the music. Uh, while the singer Bob Pollard is very open to allowing people to rebroadcast his music um, on YouTube and other social network things. What he does do is he collects the royalties for it too. So if I were to put a Guided by Voices song at the beginning of my video, unless I got to the point where I could actually get permission from Bob to use the music and then get that information through to YouTube, um, yeah, it'd be great to do that. But yeah, probably what I'd rather do, I think, is find something that, like what Jordan does, where he's got permit, where it isn't naturally copywritten to begin with, and he's got permission from the artist to do it, and that would be a great thing. In fact, there's a song that Jordan's never used on his by 84 Nash that I've actually thought would be a great intro song, but not so far. Like I said, it's just a matter of finding something that I like that would be appropriate because I've already got sort of a concept of what I would do for an opening video. I don't have anyone to do animation for me, but I've kind of got an image in my head of what I'd like to do with that. Reminds you of a '93 Blizzard without the blizzard. Okay. Uh, yep, I guess so. Hi, Penny G. I'm doing fine. How are you? Wow, 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 wow. Maybe see Nibble bouncing around over here. See if we can get her to poke her head in here a little bit. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, saw her tail a little bit. Yeah, Bite's always more of a showman, isn't he? Yeah, I remember the gas shortage in the '70s. I was too young to have to deal with that, but oh yeah, no, it's not just Nibble. Bite's getting fat too here. Yeah, he's my big heifer here. Yes, he is. You can see out of your right eye again. That's a good thing. Yeah, it sounds like Hospitals are like eliminating a lot of elective stuff right now. Yeah, when the gas crisis was going on, I was, probably about 10 or so. So I remember yeah, it may have been even worse in California, but I remember, odd days, even days, and you could buy your gas, based on what the last number of your license plate was. If it was an odd number, you went on odd days. If it was an even number, you went on even days. I remember that. And I remember everyone freaking out that, oh my gosh, gas is 60, 70, 80 cents a gallon. It's like, yeah, amateurs. I'm glad you guys are all watching the Maps Island Horizon videos. Yeah, he's continuing to put stuff up daily. Like I said, he had a whole bunch of content recorded when before he even started it. So the ability of for him to put something up daily, and I was actually recommending that he maybe put 10 or 15 videos up like on the first day, just so that if anyone got in there and subscribed and said, hey, I like this, they got a little bit of content to look at. But so far I think he's been putting up one every day. Yeah, Tracy, I'm glad that they did take care of that, because it'll be no fun being blind. Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I made it back safe too. I'm actually glad I just made it back, because I wasn't sure, whether I'd be able to get out. I was concerned that whole day flying back that there was a possibility that I you know, might get stuck at the airport and not be able to fly out or something like that. This wouldn't be the first time it happened either. The same thing happened to me after September 11th. uh, I was on. Ironically, in fact, my brother-in-law kind of mentioned this, that there's the wouldn't be the first time that a family emergency and a national emergency kind of tangle up. Because my grandmother, you may recall, my grandmother died a couple of days before September 11th, and I was actually on the airplane when they getting ready to take off to go to her funeral, when they shut down all air travel in the United States. I watched the second plane hit the second tower, live on TV right before I got on the airplane. So honestly, that was a very interesting day. How's my mother doing? My mother is doing all right. She's kind of putting up with this. The day after I left, they locked down her apartment complex too. Actually the day I left, um, they weren't allowing any outside people to go into the apartment, even into like the lobby area. In fact, at one point, what I had is I had borrowed my mom's car while I was there, because she doesn't drive, and so I needed transportation, so she let me borrow it. And the day I left, I had to bring my uncle to the airport, and then I brought the car back to her, and I had all my personal stuff in the car. And so I tried to bring my personal stuff just into the lobby there where my mom was waiting, so I could go park her car and then come back, and I was going to take an Uber to the airport. Well, I actually ended up getting into the building, and they completely and totally freaked out over that, because they didn't even want me in the lobby. And so, managed to get everything dropped off. But the day after I left, they locked all the residents in their apartment. So they can't even come down for lunch anymore, for meals. What they're doing right now is they're bringing food up to the individual rooms for every meal. So yeah, I don't know. That just seems to be the way things are going. And then this morning, I read that the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, just last night declared that he wants everyone to stay at home, and it's not going to be long before the National Guard is going to be out, and they're going to declare martial law. So that's my prediction. I don't have anything to back that up, but it seems that's where we're going. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure my mom will be safe. She's in a good place. There haven't been any cases of the virus in the area, so it's just a matter of, they call it an abundance of caution. A little bit. I think they're overreacting a little bit, but you know what? That's what they feel they have to do. I've been to the store a few times since I got back. I've been kind of going every day trying to pick up the few things I can find, but most of the shelves are empty. It's getting a little bit better, but things like I'd like to have like a few cans of soup around the house, just in case. And there's nothing there. So does my mom have someone caring for her? Just the staff at the hotel or at the apartment. She had a personal assistant named Beatrice when she was living at home, but once she moved into the apartment, Beatrice was no longer in the budget. So right now, it's just the people in the apartment that are taking care of her. And she can obviously, she has access to the internet, and she can watch TV, and she can read books, and usually that's what my mom likes to do anyway. So you know she just has to do it now. And I was talking to her yesterday about it, and she was saying, well, I'm glad I got a whole bunch of books. And I says, yeah, well, you know what, Amazon's out there. If you need more, go buy some more. You got good luck getting staples at Dollar Tree. Okay, well, I've been kind of going around. There's like a a drug emporium close by here, and I've been able to get things like Kleenex and bottled water and stuff there. They don't seem to be as out of stuff as like the grocery stores are. I think probably it's just a lot of people aren't thinking about that as an option. Well, right now the maintenance shutdown at work is just about the maintenance, and that is supposed to be over, I think, probably this coming week. Well, yeah, next week, I guess, because technically it's Friday right now. So I think most of the people will be in there. The only reason I'm not is because I am uniquely being quarantined right now, just because I've been in California. There's no reason to believe I have anything. It's just I've been in an area where it is, and so they would rather, leave me home and pay me to do nothing and pay me to be on quarantine for a while than to risk me going in and infecting other people. I've heard that Amazon is prioritizing essentials. I haven't heard that it's only essentials. Yeah, a lot of the schools are shutting down right now. My friend Beth is a special education teacher, and they shut her school down about a week ago. So yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right, Jan. At least I'm being paid. It does kind of suck a little bit though, because I wanted to. I've actually been unemployed for the last 10 months, and was actually looking forward to doing something a little productive. Right? Yeah, Jeff. I'm glad I made it home too, because it was a little spooky there for a while, and I think my decision to leave early was the right one. Yeah, my work isn't currently shut down. They're doing a maintenance cycle right now, and that's going to be up in, I think that's going to be done probably middle of next week. So my place isn't shut down. It's just kind of running with a skeleton crew right now. But the quarantine is specifically directed at me. Was it hard to move at LAX? No, not really. In fact, uh, it was almost abandoned. You know, there was very few people there. Yeah, they were really freaking out over this thing. I don't know. I haven't actually heard anyone say anything that the water isn't good to, the tap water isn't good to drink. So, yeah, the truth is, I always buy a couple of jugs of water at a time anyway. So I'm actually pretty good on water. Even before everyone was panicking about this thing, I was buying, I always bought toilet paper in big bundles because, it's one of those things that you don't have to, you can, if you got a place to store it, it makes sense to do it. Then you're not dealing with it as much. So toilet paper while everyone else is panicking, I'm doing all right with toilet paper. What am I doing to pass the time? Daily live streams. Yeah, that's really going to be I think the big thing. I'm gonna until I go back to work on I think the 2nd of April. I'm gonna try and do a live stream every day, just because there's a lot of people that are kind of locked in their apartments, locked in their houses right now, and they're getting a little bit lonely. So I think we're gonna try and do this as much as I can, just to kind of be a little bit of a community for people that you know don't have anyone right now that can come visit them. Yeah, you're right about the being like right out of a sci-fi movie. I was actually thinking that maybe tonight I was going to sit down and watch the Stephen King miniseries, The Stand, because that's kind of what this is all about. And Florida even saying this is not a hurricane. We will still have our water and electricity. That's true. That's true. That's the good thing. As long as we can keep all that stuff going, then we'll be fine for a little while. Yeah, it's been warm here for the last few days too. It's actually in the upper 50s right now. It's actually raining a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it. I got the window open over there because it's actually nice to let a little of the outside air in. Yeah, yeah, I don't doubt that Walmart is crazy right now. There's a Walmart and there's like a Kmart here, and I'm sure they're both the same. Yeah, well, I think the cats were happy when I was back. They're getting to the point where they're a little bit more comfortable with me leaving periodically, just because it's happened so much. So it isn't so much of a cold shoulder kind of thing when I do finally come back. But Bite, of course, is sitting right there, waiting for the kitty treats. And here comes Nibble too. Let's see if we can get her on camera here. She's going to come right through there right now. One for you. Another one for you. Huh? Come on, Nibble. Yeah. Kitty treat time. Yeah, you're right, Penny. I was thinking about maybe doing a cooking vlog today. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking, Kathy. Actually, Jordan texted me last night and suggested that that I maybe do some more live streams. And the truth is, I've been thinking about that too. So, has there been a shortage of pet food? It isn't quite the panic thing that things like toilet paper and cans of soup and stuff like that are, but I have noticed that the shelves are a little bit bare on that. So, but we're okay for a while. We got plenty of kitty food here, so they're good. One of the funny things I've been noticing is that you can tell the stuff that people don't like because there's lots of that on the shelf. And so I'm in good shape because there's plenty of grapefruit juice in there because nobody likes white grapefruit juice. But I do. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Kitty litter box fun. I just bought a couple of things of kitty litter, so we should be good on that front. Are you panicked about the lack of kitty litter? No? Okay. Yeah, you don't need to be. Yeah, I do too, Tracy. I love grapefruit, unsweetened grapefruit. So that's great. That's a great thing. That's one of the advantages. Because you can tell the things that people don't like in the grocery store, because you'll have a whole big long row of shelves, and they're all picked bare except for like certain things. And one of the things I'm seeing um, is that grapefruit juice is one of those things that nobody seems to like. So I'm in good shape on that one. Have I ever made my own bread? Yes, I have actually a couple times. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was a tremendous success, but I have attempted it. How is my mom? My mom is doing all right. They've locked her in her apartment right now, so she can't really go out and socialize a whole lot right now, and that's a little bit difficult for her. But we're talking to her on the phone periodically just to kind of keep her spirits up and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, emotionally, she's dealing with it. The whole thing of losing my dad has been a difficult issue, but it's we've known it's coming. And she's been accepting this for some time that the end was coming. It was when when he had his emergency surgery a few weeks ago. I remember even at the time she was saying, you almost got to wonder if it would just be better if he just went, because he's just not having a real quality of life. So and we knew it wasn't going to get any better. So I think it was just kind of a blessing that he went when he did, and that he went relatively peacefully, and that my mother and my sister were there when it happened. And you know, the suffering is over. My mom is being real strong about it, and I think she's going to be fine. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. I appreciate the prayers from everyone. Everyone's writing up on the screen here what people don't like: beef ramen noodles and frozen pizza with pineapple. See, I'm a little bit of a freak on that. I actually do not. I don't have a problem with pineapple on pizza. It isn't my favorite thing in the world, but I can kind of understand it. Yeah, yeah, I got the eye under control now. It's back to normal, or at least as normal as it is for me. Do I ever be feel sad being away from my parents' home? It's not really. I don't think. I needed to move out of California because California just wasn't the place for me anymore. Um, so, and the truth is, I've seen my parents more in the last 6 months than I probably did in the previous 6 months. So, it's just it was something that needed to happen, and I think it was the best move for me. Yeah, well, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with the eyes. I've had two cases of that hematoma where the eye turned red in the space of a couple weeks. I think the second one was I was just rubbing my eyes and that probably broke it open, but I don't think it's anything serious that I have to keep an eye on at this point. I'm just kind of being careful when rubbing my eyes now. Oh yeah, there's Buddy. How are you, Buddy? Nibble's just literally right over there. Like getting his tail all tangled up on the Christmas lights here. Oh, Nibble's down here. She wants some too. Gotta move it close slowly or she'll run away. And of course, I walk away for a second. Bite tries to stick his head in the kitty jar. Check that out. Just help himself, right? You pig. Here's some for Nibble. I'm not even giving Bite any right now because he's just helping himself. Oops, you dropped it. Okay, that's enough for now. You guys are fat enough. Yes, you are. Am I jet lagged? No, not really. I mean, it's only a 2 hour time difference between California and Texas. And the truth is, I kind of just stayed on Texas time even when I was in California. So it really wasn't that big an issue. I get jet lag if it's more than 2 hours. My sleep schedule is always just kind of dependent on what I need to do at a given day. So when does it start to get real hot in Texas? I don't know. I'll let you know when I get there. It's been warmer for the last few days. We've been in the 70s and even the 80s, and even when it was raining, it was a little bit warm. But now that it's raining today, it's actually cooled off a little bit, and we're in like the upper 50s right now. I got the window open though, because it's just nice to hear the rain out there and get a little fresh air in here. Yeah, I've been kind of limiting the food the cats get, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to do a whole lot of good. Yeah, Nibble's usually pretty hiding. Pretty hidey. She'll just go and kind of. She kind of prefers to stay away from camera, I guess. So yeah, it isn't kind of unusual that you get to see her like that. Yeah, but you're in Florida, Jeff. That's a big difference when you got the ocean all around you. Good morning, Karma. How are you? Yeah, yeah, you're right. Nibble's a little camera shy. Oklahoma, it's 30. Yeah, yikes. That's not that far away from here. Well, I mean, it's in the 50s, in the 50s here. So now I got to disagree with you, Jan. They are fat. It isn't fluffy. It's fatty, isn't it? Because he always wants to stick his head into the kitty treat jar, don't you? That's what it's all about. You'd have your head stuck in there right now if you could get away with it, wouldn't you? Rain in Arkansas. Yeah, rain in Texas right now too. It isn't raining really hard, but it's just kind of dribbling out there a little bit. We're supposed to get it all day, and then it's kind of supposed to ease off a little bit tonight, and then we'll get another storm coming in tomorrow. Okay, I actually love having it rain. When I just have to be home on days. So I love it raining anyway. I don't know. I've never tried letting them have wet cat food. They've always been dry cat food, pet cats. Backyard is a swamp. Okay, yeah, that's what happens when you get a little rain. Yeah, that was one of the reasons I came to Texas, is because I was so tired. I love it when it rains. So when you just don't get that much rain in California. So that was one of the things that attracted me to this place. Oh, I'm sure it's snowing somewhere. Wow, wow. That's White answering the questions of your cats. There's actually two live streams going on here. There's the one between me and you, and there's the one between him and your cat. So yeah, the cats go in annually for their shots. They had their shots right before we moved in May, so they're probably about due again. Yeah, well, yeah, Florida would be maybe an option too, but I think that's a little too much for me. Also, I don't like the fact that Florida seems to have insects that are big enough to carry you away. Not really into that. I do really like Texas, so I'm glad I chose this place. Do a vlog for the cats like with Jordan, huh? Yeah, I don't know. The problem is these guys don't quite have the personality that John has. You can't just go and take them out for a walk. Basically, who's going to watch a vlog of them sitting up on their shelf and giving you the stink eye? Did they check my fever at the airport? No, no, they didn't. But for the couple days that I was in California, every time I went into the lobby of my mom's apartment, they checked my fever there. They knew at that point they were going to shut the place down, but it was still a day away. Yeah, the only place I've ever seen that has mosquitoes that compare to Florida is like Minnesota. Yeah, they'll carry you away there. Yeah, Nibbles is right there right now. Give them some catnip. Yeah, yeah. Let's get the cats high. That'd be fun. Oh yeah, we used to get June bugs in California. I don't remember seeing them here. What we ended up with was a cricket infestation back in early October. That was insane. All right, thanks for stopping in, Tracy. Yeah, we'll be going on for a little while. So if you want to stop back a little bit, a little later, we'll probably still be here. Like I said, I'm going to try and do these daily for a while. I don't know if I'll succeed in doing one every day, but you know, there's a lot of people that are just kind of locked into their apartments right now, and having somebody to talk to, is a good thing. Well, I've heard Minnesota say that the mosquito is a state bird, so I think a lot of states, you know, kind of claim that. Yeah, I have been seeing a few blue bonnets around. They're starting to pop a little now. At some point, I'll probably go out and do another Texas Super Bloom vlog here, and we'll kind of walk around and see that. I remember how beautiful it was when we were driving here last year. So after everyone is in lockdown, they'll be tired of social media for a while. Yeah, maybe. Need to crossbreed mosquitoes with lightning bugs so you can see them coming. Yeah, maybe. All right, thanks for stopping in, Penny. Yeah, like I said, I may do a cooking vlog today. I don't know. I have to pick a restaurant or pick a recipe. Does Texas get bees and wasps? I mean, I've seen a little bit of them, but they're more of an issue in California, especially the wasps. having to use speech recognition because you spilled something on your laptop keyboard. Oh, I love that. Thank you, the top bloggers. I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of play it easy. Hmm. Sounds great. Not too spicy, huh? Yeah. Well, like I say, when I goose something up, I usually tell you what it is, and a lot of times, you don't have to do that if you don't want. So I'll probably, if it does have something that can be spicy, I'll make it spicy, but I'll tell you how to make it unspicy too. Grapefruit juice, one of the few things you can still find in the grocery store because nobody likes it. Have I made a cake? Not for the vlog, but I have. I've made cakes before. Yeah, that's what it was. It's grapefruit juice. I love my grapefruit juice. Let's see what's going on here. I posted on the Facebook page that I was going to do a live stream today, and looks like somebody replied. So I don't know. We'll see. I tried making southern fried chicken. No, I haven't yet. That sounds good though. Wonder if I can do it in the instant pot. You made hootenanny for this morning for breakfast, huh? Yeah, 46 people watching. I guess I mean it's a weekday, so you know maybe not a lot of people expected this, but usually when I do something on a Saturday or Sunday, I can sometimes get 100 people in here. But whatever. It's just I think probably people aren't used to seeing me do these on weekdays, so nobody was looking for this because the only clue that there was is I posted something in the community section on the YouTube channel and I posted something on the Facebook page. So you either saw it there or just saw the bell come on or something like that. Yeah, I like to keep you all guessing, Jeff. I've been thinking about that for a couple of days that I wanted to maybe, since I'm kind of on quarantine at work, that I was gonna, maybe do some more live streams this time. And then I started thinking about it. There's a lot of people that are like locked in their apartments and their houses right now, and so I thought it might be a good idea. And then Jordan actually texted me last night and suggested the same thing. So I said, okay, yeah, we're going to try and do that. We're going to try and do daily live streams for until I go back to work on the second. And might not hit every one of them, but we're going to try. How was the flight back? The airport was pretty abandoned at the time I flew out. In fact, I shot a photograph um, of what the terminal looked like, and it was It was pretty empty. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up on the phone here. Hmm, no, I guess I moved it off the phone. Probably on the computer. But the plane was pretty empty. About half full maybe. I had a whole row to myself, which was kind of cool. Does Texas have a zoo? Yeah, it has a whole bunch of zoos. In fact, I visited the Cameron Park Zoo here in Waco last summer. Yeah, that's sort of what I thought. This is a good way to, kind of give everyone, a little chance to, be sociable. Because, like I said, a lot of people are locked down in their houses or apartments. So, you know, it's just kind of healthy. A lot of people are a very social species for the most part. I'm generally not. Somebody could, disappear into my apartment for a week or two at a time and not have a problem. But I figured I'd come on here and talk to everyone, kind of keep everyone's spirits up a little bit if we can, because it's kind of weird out there right now. I'm not really sure how the airfares are right now, because what I originally did is when I did my trip to California, my original plan was that I was going to fly out on Sunday and get there during the day, and then fly back on Wednesday. And so it was 250 some odd dollars for the flight to California, and then since it was booked as a round trip, I got like $19 for the return flight, and I ended up sacrificing that because I came back a day early, and actually ended up paying $99 for that flight, and that plane was only half full, if that. Like I said, I had a whole row to myself here on the plane. So, how's my mom doing? My mom is in lockdown in her apartment. They won't even let her out of her room anymore, just because they're really concerned. So they're bringing all the meals up to them, and my mom's just having to settle with the internet and with reading and watching TV. So we're calling her a lot to kind of um, keep her in the loop and all that. But she's doing all right. She's dealing with the loss of my father very very well, because I think in the end we all knew this was coming, and so it wasn't really a shock when it happened. So, and that was maybe a blessing. We're all kind of on the approach that, we're all looking at this from the perspective that, my father had no quality of life. He hated being in the hospital. He hated being in constant pain. And so all of that's over now. And so we're grateful for that. Did I bring Flash back with me? No. Flash is still staying with Beth. I saw Beth at the funeral, but didn't really get a chance to go over and see Flash. But every once in a while, Beth will send me like photos or stuff like, or videos that she shot of Flash, and I'll try and post those on the channel when I can. Yeah, I have heard that Disney is shut down. A lot of the friends that I have like on Facebook from the Disney days were talking about that immediately when it happened. In fact, one of my friends, the day that it happened, right before it happened, was saying, they're shutting down sporting events and all this stuff, but Disney's still open. And and then just a few hours later, they're saying, oh yeah, now it's closed. Now they've elected to just send everyone home. So yeah, Disneyland is closed. Everybody's home with pay though, from what I understand. Now I don't know how long it'll go. I don't know. I've thought about doing a live chat with my mom, kind of like what I did with my dad a few months ago. And I'd have to talk to her about that, see if she'd actually want to be on the vlog or on the live stream. You know, my father was really into that, and he enjoyed doing that live stream the one time we did it. So, but my mom, I don't know, has never really had the same enthusiasm, I think, for that my dad does. Well, I hope I don't get you in trouble, Don. Can I FaceTime her? I probably could, but my mom isn't really that good with technology. So, she struggles enough just to use her telephone on a regular basis and needs help when it comes to things like deleting emails and deleting voicemails and stuff like that. So I don't know if she's up to some new technology like that. But if she was interested in doing it, I bet you we could do a put her on speakerphone like we did with my dad. Yeah, yeah, I kind of thought the same thing, Jeff. We're trying to do what we can. My sister and I are talking to her on a regular basis, and of course she's got her phone, she's got internet, and so I'm sure she's doing a lot of that. A lot of what she does these days, anyway, is just kind of sit in the apartment and watch TV or read. So she's got a lot of that. We got a lot of stuff there she can do there. She's got a whole bunch of books she can read, and she was just kind of getting to the point though that she was starting to socialize with some of the other people in the apartment or in the apartment with her. So hopefully that will continue once this is all over. Yeah, my father really enjoyed doing that live chat too. When I rebroadcast that a couple weeks ago, I was actually surprised how long it was. Because I thought he'd only been on for like 10 or 15 minutes, but there was like 30 minutes of content on there. It just showed how fast things went, how much fun we had. Does she know how to watch the videos? I don't know, honestly. I know that she watched them a lot right at the beginning, but I don't know if my dad was helping her do that or what. I don't think she watches them as much anymore. Because see, I think early on she was using it. That was kind of a means of kind of keeping up with what was going on in my life without having to call, uh, having to call all the time. Maybe they can exchange telephone numbers. I'm assuming you're talking about her friends that in the apartment, and I'm sure that probably happens. Either that or email addresses or any stuff like that. 58 with rain in Dallas. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at now. I don't know. Let me see what the temperature is here right now. Ah, oh, we're actually a little colder here. It's 53 here. Look who's back. You're slowly going crazy, huh? Maybe it's just the rest of the world is going crazy and it just seems that way. And Nibble's making an appearance here too. Yeah, there she is. There's the little Nibble. Ow! That's supposed to bite. No, you're not supposed to bite me. You either. That's my finger you got. You gonna bite me again? If you do, I'll rename you to Bite. He'll be Bite, and then he'll just be Chomp. Right? See how he lunges at it? I don't think I get a finger left at all, aren't I? Hey, that wasn't for you. You stole that from Nibble. All right, enough of that. Enough of that nonsense. You guys are fat enough. Yes, you are. They're fat enough. Grapefruit juice. What kind of treats do I give the kitties? Right now it's these, but what I get whatever I can find in these big bins. You had to reboot, your internet was acting up. Yeah, I know what that's like. That was one of the things when I got my mom moved into her apartment. I actually asked them to bring a new modem and a router over because my dad always had so many problems with his internet. Come here, fatso. Somebody wants me to give you a rub and a cuddle. Oh, you can see the hate in those eyes right now. It's like, what the heck are you doing? Huh? What the heck are you doing? Look at that big fat belly. That big fat belly. Gotta get all the fur off my hands now here. Starting to get into shedding season here. They're my buddies. Yeah, I wish I get Nibble to be affectionate like that. But she's just a weird kitty. So how many of you are out there are actually on some form of a lockdown right now? I'm just trying to gauge how many of you actually have any freedom right now. Kitty hair in my eyes right now. Feed my cats a can of sardines and oil once a month will stop the shedding. That's news to me. Working at home, no lockdown, but told to work from home. You have to stay in here in California due to health issues. Yeah, yeah. If you got like some health issues, you definitely want to stay home. Yeah, that's sort of how it is in Texas. They aren't really telling us to hunker down in place, but all the businesses, you can't go into a restaurant right now. It's all just drive through, if anything. Stuck at home. PA is locked down except for carry out and delivery of food, grocery, gas stations. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of what people are doing. You're at home or retired and your wife works. Okay, that's good. And look who's back. Now he's exploring the brush. Now you want the brush, right? Thing is, he isn't really interested in the brush on the back. He just wants the brush on the face. Yeah, he loves that thing. Yeah, you just enjoy the brush. Yeah, I bet you Domino's is super busy. Yeah, you're right. By just self-brushing. That's like after the kitty treats, that brush is like his favorite thing in the world. When you do this, he just becomes Mr. Cuddles here. You had surgery, and after surgery, you had to be resuscitated. They broke two ribs. That's no good. Glad they brought you back. That would have been no good. Wouldn't have been fun at all. Yeah, that's true. Definitely when you're going to like a restaurant or something like that, tip when you can, because you're right. A lot of those people, they make substandard wages, sub minimum wage, because there's, all the tipping. And now none of that's happening. You know, these people need our help. Definitely. Thanks, Shirley. Yeah, I'm glad I made it too. It was, it was, touch and go there for a little while. California was locking down pretty fast. And I was just reading this morning that the governor in California is basically saying now he wants everyone to just kind of stay in their house or apartment and not go out unless it's an emergency. And that's all just escalated in the last couple of days. So, it's not going to be long, I think, before they call out the National Guard and start declaring martial law. All right, thanks for stopping in, Jeff. It was good to talk to you. I'm going to try and do these daily for the foreseeable future. So, yeah, Jordan will deal with it on his own. He's doing other kinds of vlogs right now. So, I think he'll be fine. All right, even seems like during seems like we even have the trolls coming out today. You look at these things and you want to give them a chance, but come on, really? Wasted all that time creating two separate accounts, and now I blocked him in like 3 seconds. Whatever. Yeah, I hope they don't do that. I hope they don't have to bring in the National Guard too. Oh man, he's all over the place. Watch me. Keep saying I can't kill him. Watch me. The mouse is faster than the troll. All right, let's see how many other stupid accounts that Bernie has. If you spent half the time that he does creating up, dreaming up all these stupid accounts, uh, he could probably produce something on his own. But he's a loser. What do you expect? It's funny, he told me I couldn't kill him. Looks like I did. Always like to have a little excitement when we're on a live stream. I'm going to go house hunting again soon. Yeah, maybe. We'll see what comes up in the next few weeks. Have you been fishing before? I have. I've been fishing a lot of times, like with my uncle, my grandfather, when I go visit Minnesota. I haven't gone fishing in a long time though. Oh yeah, I know who Kathy is. Kathy's been a long time viewer. Yeah, if you want to go to every one of this guy's accounts and report them, that's fine. I doubt anything will happen because usually what these idiots do is they create a bunch of accounts and then the second they get blocked, then they delete them and create new ones. So yeah, you want to go after him and get his IP address. That's awesome. What do you think, Blake? Should we go and go after Ernie the idiot? See, that's the only one I didn't see. All sorts of other names, but it wasn't Ernie the idiot, Ernie the moron, Ernie the pathetic loser. Yeah, go for it, Dan. No, that little amusement park, it's only open on the weekends, and I've been by it a couple of times. It's still there, and they do stuff. I've just never been there when it's open, but it seems like a cute little place. Hi, VNA, welcome back. Yeah, I know. I was laughing at that too. Ernie kept saying, "You can't kill me. You can't kill me." It's like, yeah, well, I killed you. We all have idiots at our work. I haven't met any of them at my work yet, but I can tell you all the idiots that worked at Disney. It was really easy to find them. They were all in the managers' offices. What did you miss? Yeah, we just had a troll alert. One guy had about 5 or 6 different accounts and kept coming in here posting bizarre and obscene things. Kept kept challenging me, saying, "You can't kill me. You can't kill me." Yeah, where is he now? You have anything to add to that bite? Hmm. Anything to say to Ernie? Ernie the idiot? Am I on shutdown or quarantine? I'm on quarantine right now. Not because of anything, not because of any like symptoms or anything. It's just because I've been to a dangerous area. Been through LAX in the last couple days, and they're just being really careful. They'd rather keep it out of the office. So right. So that just means you got to spend more time with me, huh? Right? Poor kitty. Whatever will you do? That's good, Kathy. I'm glad. Yeah, check in on a daily basis because I'm going to try and do these. I'm off of work now until April 2nd, so I'm going to try and do a live stream every day. It may not be a 2-hour live stream every day, but I want to check in and just kind of be there to talk to people who are getting lonely. They're locked down and they don't have anyone to talk to. there's a number of people out there like that. So I'm going to try and do this every day. It may not work. I may miss one here and there, but we'll play it by ear and we'll see what happens. Hey, Angela's here. How are you, Angela? Yeah, usually I just do the live streams like once a week, but I was thinking, that it'd be kind of cool to kind of come on here and do more of these right now, just because they're pretty easy to do. You just turn on the computer, you press record or you press go live, and here you are, and then just however you guys want to, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about, we'll deal with it. Unless you're Ernie, and then if you're Ernie, I'm just going to block you. Yeah, yeah, that seems to be what's happening. That's why I'm doing a lot of these live streams lately, is so that we can kind of keep everyone, kind of in the loop and talking and being sociable and all that. Okay, thanks for stopping by, John. Was I able to? I assume you mean buy groceries. I have basically the stuff I need around here. I'm okay. So I'd still like to find a few more cans of soup and stuff like that, and I'll keep checking in on that. But the basic necessities of life, I'm doing all right. I have toilet paper, so I'm in good shape there. I'm not one of these people that hoards, but usually when I buy things like toilet paper, stuff like that, I do buy it in big quantities so you can just keep it and not have to worry about it. So, a couple months ago, I bought one of those big, 36 pack rolls of toilet paper, and you just keep that in the closet, and then you don't need to worry about it for a while. What I've been hearing when it comes to going to the grocery store is the best thing to do is to show up first thing in the morning when they open, because what ends up happening is people go in there and they basically clean the stores out, and then by the time you get to 10 or 11 in the morning, all the good stuff's gone. But if you go early in the morning, that seems to be the way to go. The best chance of getting stuff, because there is stuff coming in every day. It's just if you go later on in the day, it's already gone. Hey, Epic Paul's in the house. Hey, Paul, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, you're right, Brenda Lee. That's everywhere. That's going on that way. Uh, everywhere. So just gotta deal with it here, and it will pass. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Angela. It's time to do some more cooking vlogs. Well, the beauty is, when I cook things, I like to cook enough to, put it in the fridge or in the freezer for a while and have it last. So, you can always cut a recipe in half. Paul's out of school until the third, huh? All right, yeah, they may extend it out late longer than that. I've heard some people say that they've shut down school for the rest of the year. Got any good chocolate chip cookie recipes? No, but that does sound good. Yeah, I think I saw the pizza recipe. It looked good in the picture. Hi, Marissa. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm glad you were able to catch the live stream. Yeah, I'm a little bit earlier today than I usually am. I decided pretty much last night, but I've been thinking about it for a few days. And I think I want to do these live streams a little bit more frequently over the next couple of weeks. I'm on quarantine at work, so I don't get to go to work now until April 2nd. So I'm going to try and do more live streams during this period, just because there's a lot of people that are like locked down and can't really, get out and do anything, and they need to be sociable. So yeah, chocolate chip cookies, that might be kind of fun. I got a couple of cookie trays. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're just about to get into spring break here too. You're right. Are you a him? No, I'm her. Everyone says they hate autocorrect. I love it. Some of the autocorrect ones are funnier than the original, right? What's your opinion on autocorrect? Huh? No opinion on autocorrect? Just let him help himself here. Okay, that's enough. Yeah, the shelves are empty just about everywhere. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and the entire row of shelves that have like the toilet paper are just bare. You can't get Kleenex, you can't get pasta, you can't get soup. Eggs are running a little scarce. Milk, they have limits on how much you can buy. Coronavirus is like a sci-fi movie. I normally change the movie before it gets scary. Yeah, I know. Can't do that this time, can we? Yeah, well, what we got to do, we got to remember is not to panic. The this is a virus and it seems scary, but the truth is it has a very low fatality rate, and we're gonna make it through this. That's you just got to take basic precautions. I've been reading from some of the experts who are saying that everyone thinks that the thing is airborne. It's like, no, it isn't really airborne in the traditional sense of airborne, because airborne means that it's just existing in what you exhale, and it floats around until somebody inhales it. In reality, it's only in like liquid spittle or anything that, if you sneeze and any liquid comes out, then it's on that. And if you touch something that's contaminated with that, then you can get it. The best thing to do is just avoid, keep doing the social distancing and wash your hands regularly. That's the best thing you can do. And don't do like I'm doing, constantly touching my face. I can kind of sort of get away with that a little bit because I've been in the house ever since yesterday. So thank you, Chad. Yeah, I saw that pop up, but I was talking there for a minute, so wanted to acknowledge that before it went away. I appreciate that very much, though. Thank you so much. Well, basically, what they're saying VNA is if somebody directly has it, and I guess if they breathe on you and you inhale that, you can pick it up that way. But generally, if you stay 6 feet away from people, that's that, and they aren't, and you aren't touching things that they're touching, um, you should be fine. Did I get what I wanted from my dad's garage? Yes. The last time I was there before they started selling the house, I picked out the things I wanted and put it in like one little pile in the garage. And I guess right now Beth has it. It's at her in her house. So yeah, I got all that stuff. It's just a small, you know, collection of tools and stuff like that. Stuff that he had that was stuff that I didn't have. If it's something I already have, then maybe not. But one of the things that my brother-in-law wanted to do was take some of my father's hand tools and create toolkits for my niece and nephew. And so that'll be kind of cool. And I didn't take anything from that because I've got all the screwdrivers and pliers and hammers and the general stuff that would be in that kind of stuff that I've got all that. So we're good. So I figured we'll let my niece and nephew have that. There's a good collection of stuff there. Yeah, still talking about the virus. So yeah, just use the hand sanitizer, 60% alcohol or more, because that's pretty effective at killing the coronavirus. Wash your hands regularly. Avoid shaking hands and hugs and stuff like that. This is just temporary. We're going to get past it. Yeah, I've heard other people talk about toothaches and stuff like that, and they really can't do a whole lot with it right now. Yeah, that would be no that's no fun getting having a toothache when you can't do anything about it. What do you have to add to this? Huh? Anything? How am I overall since the funeral? Well, there's been so much going on right now. There really hasn't been a lot of time to think about that. I am kind of glad that it's over. That my father is at peace now. My mom's dealing with it fine. Um, it's a hard time, but it's ultimately for the best because my father's quality of life was very very low. He hated being in the hospital. He hated being in pain, and so it's kind of a blessing that that's all over now. And I think that's kind of the approach that we're taking. Yeah, I know. If I had the lid open, he'd probably end up sticking his head in there, wouldn't he? Now the lid's open. Let's see if we can get him to stick his head in there. Yeah, there he goes. Help himself. And we wonder why he's so fat. Yeah, I've seen the picture of that cat. Could literally be brothers. Yeah, we kind of reached that point with my dad a couple months ago. Because okay, that's enough. Because yeah, it just like I said, it wasn't the real quality of life um, for him. He was in a lot of pain, and just that isn't who he is. He was always a very independent and person who was in control of his life. So when it got to the point with where he couldn't do that anymore, it wasn't a life that he was going to be happy with. So we were glad that we could have him as long as we can, and just go from there. Paul asks how we came up with the name Escaping the Mouse. Well, as you know, I used to work at Disneyland, and so I quit Disneyland, and that was the mouse. So yeah, I don't know. Joke's kind of right itself, I guess. Well, he'll eat all night, or he'll eat to the point where his head gets so fat he can't get it out of the jar, and then he'll be in trouble. Yeah, you may be right. He may be. My dad really loved sailing. That was a big thing for him. He got into that. Um, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago. There was a place in San Diego that we used to visit called Vacation Village. I think it's now called Paradise Point. It's on Mission Bay, kind of right across the bay from SeaWorld. And we would go there a lot of times for like family vacation. It was like a 43-acre island. There was a resort basically. There was all sorts of little bungalows that you could stay in and go hang out on the beach. And they had docks and little sailboats you could rent. My dad took sailing lessons there one time and found he loved it and went out and got himself a sailboat. And he had that for many, many years and had a lot of time. He enjoyed doing that. And of course, if you looked around the house in the latter years, everything was a nautical or sailing theme. Yeah, that was all because of that. So you're probably right when you say he's sailing the deep blue skies rather than flying them. Yeah, I'd thank Bite for you, Jan, but I don't know where he went right now. He's definitely not behind me. He might have run upstairs, filled up on the kitty treats. So let's see if we can bring him back down again. Oh, there he is. Okay, he was just hiding behind the chair there. Oh, here comes Nibble too. Yeah, see, they both know the kitty treats. Oh, go out and shoot a vlog, Paul. That's how you build your channel up. Yeah, that was all based on his fascination with boating. It's always kind of been an issue with that family, with that side of the family too. My grandpa and my uncle had their own boats, different types of things. My uncle had more of a speedboat. My grandfather was more into fishing, so he had a fishing boat. And so yeah, that's always just sort of been a thing with on that side of the family. Sort of on the other side of the family too. My mom's dad was also an avid fisherman, and so yeah, there's a lot of that in the family. I'm not really so much into it. If I was, I'd want a motorboat rather than a sailboat. In fact, when my father decided he was going to give up his sailboat, first thing he did is ask me if I wanted it. It's like, I probably wouldn't use it. Yeah, actually, it just looks like I just kind of answered that. Yeah, I'm not as much into the nautical stuff as my dad is, or my dad was. I went out on the boat a lot, but never really got to the point where I was that into it. Like I said, I would enjoy it more if it was like a motorboat. I would even maybe consider getting like a jet ski or a sea-doo or something like that. But am I losing weight? I don't know. Probably not. But I appreciate the compliment. Maybe I'll just turn sideways here like this, and then I look like I'm really thin, right? That's how that works, right? Did I say my dad was in the military? No, my uncle was in the military. My uncle was in Vietnam uh, during all that. Yeah, it kind of messed him up a little bit. I don't think he's ever really been the same person since then. Well, my dad went right from college into the private sector. He worked at like McDonnell Douglas. You're Japanese, okay? Yeah, that's cool. You'll have to forgive me because I don't know if I can actually pronounce your name, but that's cool. Oh, you're doing all right speaking English so far. No more grapefruit juice. So maybe I ought to do the grapefruit juice more often because because at least then I end up drinking the whole thing. A lot of times when I drink the water, I don't drink all of it, and then it ends up sitting there for a couple of days until it starts turning green. Yeah, he started out at McDonnell Douglas and worked there for I don't know, probably until I was in my late teens, and then at that point he got promoted and well promoted transitioned to another company called Northrop, where he was working on a black project for a long time. And then we later found out it was the B-2 stealth bomber, which was very cool. I got a lot of really great memorabilia from him, both at the time the project was declassified and now too, because when he retired, he got a lot of cool like plaques and stuff like that. And I definitely said I wanted to have that. So, and I told him at the time that I was really interested in those things, and so he was very happy that I was going to take him. He also had a really nice digital camera, which I'm gonna get it at some point. I don't know if it's I don't know who owns the McDonnell Douglas plant, but the one in Long Beach, that's the one my dad used to work at, right next to Long Beach Airport. I mean, it's very possible it's Northrop Grumman. It's been a while since I've been by there, so and it had changed a lot. There was like on one side of the street there was like all the hangars and stuff like that, and on the other side of the street were all the office buildings. And my father primarily worked in the office buildings, and I guess all that's gone now. Yeah, San Pedro isn't that far away from there. Yeah, I've been on the Vincent Thomas Bridge. What year was my childhood home built? 1965. That was like I moved into there when I was like 1 year old. So I haven't even seen my dad's obit. So probably something I should read, huh? All right, we got people here from Russia. How was the airport security? It was actually pretty. The last few times I've flown in and out of either Dallas or LAX, it hasn't really been too bad in security. I've gotten through it in, 10 or 15 minutes or so. It's not too bad. It's still stupid having to take your shoes off and, all that nuttiness, but that's what happens. So, we just got to deal with it. Yeah, I think the 60s, that was kind of a big time for building houses in like Southern California area. I think that area really kind of grew up in that point. Are Japanese people bad? No, I don't think so. I don't think any people per se are bad. I think there are some bad governments, but I wouldn't even put Japan into the category of having a bad government. I think it has a pretty good government. China could use a little help with their government. Iran could use a little help with their government, but born in 1966. Okay, I was born in 64. I got you beat by a couple years. Yeah, and it's not just Dallas. I think it's here too. In Waco, a lot of the houses I've been looking at, especially on the outskirts of town, seem to have been built in the 60s or 70s. So yeah, I think there was just a lot of. I think it's probably getting to the point where, some of the baby boomers were starting to get to the point where they were buying houses, and there's just a lot of movement at that point. Because the whole baby boomer is basically post World War II up till 1964, and so if you were born right at the beginning of the baby boomer movement, then then you'd be getting to the point where you're ready to buy a house in the 60s. So it's a rainy day out there. Yeah, 1964 is generally considered the transition between baby boomer and Generation X. I kind of identify more with Gen X, so even though I'm right on that line, I kind of call myself a Gen Xer. You're living in the house that your parents bought in 1964. That's kind of cool. Yeah, well, like I said, the technically I probably should be a boomer because 64 was the last year of boomers. But like I said, I identify more with Gen X. So yeah, that's it exactly. I'm more in tune with the music of the 80s and even 90s, but even to some extent, even like 70s, I do like, you know, music from all kind of those eras. But, I got into the punk movement and the new wave movement, and I was really into the grunge movement. And I just don't think of baby boomers when I think of Nirvana and Soundgarden, Mudhoney. 1981. Holy cow! I'm surrounded by children. Yeah, well, maybe that's a good thing that we get forget the Gen Xers get forgotten. Then we don't get blamed for everything. Yeah, I'll probably go visit, my parents' house, from now on. Every once in a while, when I go back to California, I go visit my own house, and I've been there a couple times since I moved out. It's kind of fun to see the neighbors and stuff like that because, I had a few friends that were there, and so it's fun to see them. And I'll probably go do the same thing with my parents' house at some point. Want to see how it goes, see what the house looks like in a few years, all that fun stuff. Yeah, Joey, I kind of think that's what happens too with a lot of people. You get used to the music that was popular when you were young, and then the music comes after it just doesn't seem like it's up to the standard. And I'm sure that the people who think that this is the music that's being played today is the best musical ever, will have a similar opinion 20 years from now when whatever comes later. Do I remember Sean on? Oh yes, I do. I remember them. Not wasn't really into them, but dang spell checking. See that's what I mean. The mistakes that spell checkers make. It's actually funnier than the original one. I never would have thought of spell chicken. American Graffiti. Yeah, I watched that just recently. I wasn't really into it. I got about halfway through it and I kind of lost interest. Did I like 50s music in the 70s? No, not really. It was something I got into later on in my life. I remember, the music that was popular in the early 70s, the Simon and Garfunkel and that kind of stuff that was, you hear on the radio. Um, but I didn't really dive into the earlier stuff until much later. I didn't get into the Beatles until like the early 80s, and it was even later for other stuff. Yeah, I remember Shauna. No, I wasn't really that into him, but that's okay. Yeah, and see, I loved Happy Days. Happy Days was great. It blows my mind that basically Happy Days was a spin-off of American Graffiti because I wasn't into that one as much. I don't know. Yeah, I was always when people give me the Beatles or Elvis question, I'm always going to say Beatles. Wasn't as into Elvis. He had his moments, but I understand how a lot of people really like him and really appreciate him. It's just he's not for me. Not as much. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. He pioneered a lot of the stuff that became rock and roll afterwards, but yeah, the Beatles. I can always turn on the Beatles and love that. I only know one song by Aha. I bet you if you know anything about Aha, you know which song it is. I bet you even know what song it is, don't you? Don't you? You know what that song is by Aha that I'm talking about. That's the one, Joey. Yep, that's it. Kind of a cool video. That's probably the thing I remember most about that song was that video because it was a really kind of a cool video. You never heard of Aha? Well, after the live stream's over, go on YouTube, type Aha and the song "Take on Me," and look for the official music video. Yeah, it was pretty revolutionary for the at the time. I haven't seen The Breakfast Club in forever, but that was a great movie too. I always think I kind of like Breakfast Club because I always had kind of a crush on Molly Ringwald. Yeah. Breakfast Club is definitely, it's one of those kind of coming of age movies, along with like, Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Dazed and Confused, and I mean even like Animal House for the generation before it. Hey you, I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's supposed to be really good, but yeah, it's just not been one that's been high on my priority list. Yeah, Simple Minds, Berlin, Flock of Seagulls. I remember all those. I never saw Saved by the Bell. I think that was more of a generational thing. That was a generation after me. I used to watch Happy Days all the time and enjoyed when it spun off into Laverne and Shirley, and enjoyed when that spun off into Mork and Mindy. That show just spun off into all sorts of weird directions. Yeah, I was a Culture Club fan to some extent too. That was like really early '80s. I remember that was like the first job I had out of high school. Um, I remember associating that song with that first job. It's a lot of times that you can associate a certain time period with a certain song or something, and that kind of ties everything together. I heard Boy George is like a trash man now or something like that. It's really kind of weird. He was like the biggest thing in the world for about 2 minutes. Yeah, that's when Culture Club was big. That first album broke in like the summer of '82, I think. Yeah, it is weird how that can happen. He's on The Voice Australia now, I think. Okay, it's possible. There's been a lot of kind of retro. Music is going retro again. Stuff from the '80s starting to pop up. You start seeing Culture Club songs appearing in Adam Sandler movies. So it doesn't surprise me. Boy George is maybe ready for a reemergence. Well, anyway, I think we've been doing this for a couple hours now, so I think I'm going to stop this now, and I'm going to definitely try and come back and do another one tomorrow, and we're going to do this on daily basis as much as I can until April 2nd. So, uh, just feel free to stop in and say hey from time to time, and we'll play it by ear. So, anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I got a new video coming up in it looks like about 5.5 hours. So Hope you enjoy that, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.